Hey LeGrand Alive, this is Eastern Oregon Adventures, and today we're talking about snow safety. This video is brought to you by Marketplace Family Foods, Valley Realty, Grand Rock Hospital, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, and Blue Mountain Outfitters. And I am here with Victor McNeil, who is a Mount McKinley guide. And so tell us, Victor, what just happened here?
Well, we just inflated our avalanche airbag pack, which is used in the event that you're caught in an avalanche.
What does it do? How does it work?
So basically there's a couple different systems out there. Some are battery powered, some are using CO2, and they have a handle, and you pull the handle, which internally combusts the CO2 canister, and then these airbags inflate out of the side of the pack.
It's pretty fancy technology.
It's pretty fancy, yeah.
Fancy's a word you could use, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how do you come to be a Mount McKinley, which is in Alaska, my home state, by the way, and it's, as Jim was telling me before the show, arguably a harder climb than Mount Everest. How do you come to be a Mount McKinley guide?
Well, it takes a lot of hard work. You have to have a strong back and a bad memory. But the good thing is,
it's kind of like pregnancy.
Similar, yeah, you could say that. Yeah. But the good thing about it is, after all that time at altitude, you have a great excuse for why your memory isn't as good.
Fair enough. So how long does it take to do a mountaineering trip?
So a trip on McKinley lasts 3 weeks.
Wow.
Is that mostly because of distance or technical difficulty or acclimation?
It's mostly due to acclimation and distance. Yeah, so it's a lot of equipment, a lot of food and fuel that you're hauling up the mountain, and you're also starting at 7,000 feet and ideally going to almost 21,000 feet. Mm-hmm. So it takes a long time just to slowly move all your gear up the mountain, and you can only really acclimatize about 1,000 feet in a day.
So you're kind of going up and down and all that stuff. Yeah.
Essentially, you're climbing the mountain twice.
Wow,
yeah.
That's crazy. So talking about equipment, we're going to talk a little bit about some snow safety pieces of equipment. So what do we have here that we're looking at today?
So what we've got here, besides our airbag pack, we have that shovel, Jim.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah. So we've got our shovel, avalanche shovel, which is collapsible. We're always going to carry that with us. Basically, these 3 pieces of gear, we have this probe, avalanche probe. You can put it together similar to a tent pole, okay? And then you also have your avalanche transceiver beacon, such as this one here.
So this is like the oh shit button of mountain climbing.
It is, in a way, yeah. It's especially for backcountry skiing. Yeah.
Huh.
So these 3 items in combination with each other are what all educated backcountry skiers would be carrying with them while they're traveling in avalanche terrain.
Cool.
And a lot of anybody that's in the backcountry on snow should have this stuff, whether it's on a snowmobile or even snowshoes or any of it. Avalanche safety is, Victor knows way more about this than me, but kind of art and science, right? So
it is.
Yeah, I guess it's important for people to know. I think that this stuff is kind of non-negotiable. This, and that is kind of non-negotiable. So
now, would this stuff be stuff that you would use when you went snowshoeing up at Anthony Lakes, or would this be something that would be useful? You would take on something that's a little bit more in depth.
Well, a good way to think about it is if you were on a slope, say at Anthony Lakes, it was as steep as Rock Garden is, mm-hmm. right under the top of the chairlift as you're coming over that roll. That's steep enough to slide. That's avalanche terrain. Okay. Now at the ski area, it gets skied enough that it's safe. But if you were to go out into the backcountry in terrain that wasn't traveled as often, you could run into trouble on a slope of that steepness.
Wow.
Yeah. It only takes a slope of 30 degrees for you to have an avalanche.
Wow. So this is stuff that you really, if you're doing any sort of serious backcountry skiing or backpacking, you really should, in the wintertime, that you should probably have with you when you go out.
Yeah, I mean, the tricky thing about it is that everybody has to have it. So if if Victor's stuck in an avalanche and I don't have all three of these things, I'm not going to be able to find him probably.
Huh.
So it's because basically the beacon helps you find roughly where the person is. Then you poke at them in the snow with the probe, and then you dig them out with the shovel.
So
it's as simple
now,
as that.
Question then. So if an avalanche happened, it seems like that would be like game over. Like you wouldn't have a lot of time. Can someone survive under the snow for a period of time longer than however long it's going to take to dig them out?
So it's pretty well agreed upon that if you can get somebody out within the first 15 minutes, they still have about a 90% chance of survival.
Really?
That's
Wow.
barring, severe trauma, asphyxiation, things of that nature. Once you increase that number to a half hour, the percent of survival is less than 50%.
Wow.
So time is definitely of the essence.
You're losing your probe.
Uh-oh. Watch out. It's getting away.
It's on the move.
Yep. So yeah, this stuff it's all really important. Like Jim said, you want to know how to use it. It also is used with each piece, but then if the three of us are going out, it's very key that we all know how to use it. And we're all carrying it.
Huh.
Yeah.
There's different brands of stuff out there. We sell this stuff in the shop here. We sell Black Diamond and Peeps, which Peeps is been around for a really long time. They're owned by Black Diamond. I like those brands a lot. I know that you can get, I think, BCA out at AC Power Sports. And I think Mountain Works may have something as well. But whatever it is, whatever it takes, we really want people to have this stuff. So, yeah. How does this guy work?
So besides this airbag pack, which is very expensive, another...
But on the positive side, you get to feel like James Bond when you go out there.
Definitely, yeah. Or maybe while you're on your snowmobile.
Yeah, that too.
Good for a first date.
Yeah.
So there's another tool out there that's called an Avalon, and essentially it helps prevent asphyxiation, right? So what commonly happens if you get caught in an avalanche, you don't have much air around you, and you start to use up all the air around you. What this device does is you have this apparatus, kind of like a snorkel, so you breathe into this, and then your CO2 is pushed out through this vent to the side of you. So you're breathing through this, breathing in fresh oxygen around you, but then you're getting rid of the gas as it comes out the side.
So now the question that all begs is like, are you going to be able to, like, you're buried under however many thousands of pounds of snow, are you going to be able to get that little nozzle from hanging right here to your mouth? I mean, that's that. So I'm just wondering about the question of like whether or not that would actually would work in the field. Like, I don't know if you've experienced this a lot. Have you ever seen this actually work with somebody?
When you start your run, you're supposed to put it in your mouth.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So this is preventative medicine.
Right.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
It's similar in some ways to the airbag. Like with this style airbag pack, you have to have the trigger ready to be deployed to pull. There's a setting where it can just be tucked in and velcroed into your shoulder strap. Same with this. If this isn't in your mouth ready to go, and even then there's still a chance it could get ripped out. It's not perfect. There's nothing foolproof. I mean, this is a system that could fail as well. But it just adds an extra layer of safety.
For sure. Absolutely.
So that's kind of the point of it.
So what do you spend most of your summer on Denali, is that right?
Yeah, my summer months are on Denali, and then up in Washington in the North Cascades on Rainier and Mount Baker, Mount Shuckson.
Okay.
Yep.
And then what do you do in the winter? You're out here most of the time in the winter.
Yeah, in the wintertime for the last 7 years, I've worked in the Wallowa Mountains, ski guiding for Wallowa Alpine Huts, locally here in the Wallowas. And then I've been helping the last couple of years with the Wallowa Avalanche Center, writing some observations, and then last year I was writing some of the avalanche advisories as well. So
Cool.
So why climb McKinley? Like, is it like an addiction? Is it like an adrenaline rush? Like, do you have like times when you're in the Wallows where you're just itching to get back to McKinley to get back up there and do the thing?
You know, from all the places that I've been and spent time, it's still one of the most magnificent places that I've been.
Yeah.
You know, when you're that high on a peak and you're looking down at peaks that are 17,000 feet and 14,000 feet,
Wow.
and they are still ginormous by any standards in the lower 48, and there's glaciers as far as the eye can see. It's just a surreal experience. And even though I'm there working, I'm guiding when I'm on McKinley, it's still just a phenomenal experience, and to get to share that with other people is pretty special.
That's
so
really, really cool.
that's what takes me back.
I think it's
cool.
important to note that Victor's probably the coolest person that's ever sat on that seat before. And
Yeah,
also-
I've sat in that seat, so that's saying something.
No, it's not. Will's a little
And Jim is no, I guess Jim hasn't sat here.
No, I never sat in that seat.
here.
Yeah.
Eric has sat here, but you know.
Yeah. Why be here in the winter? I've always wanted to ask you this. Why be here in the winter if you could be in, doing 14ers or something like that? Like, why hang here?
You know, Jim, I think the big reason is, for me, I like to go into the mountains with my group of friends or the clients that I'm with on a trip, and I don't like to see a bunch of other people all over the place.
Okay.
And all the other mountain ranges that I've been to, unless you fly in on a fixed-wing plane or you get helicoptered into a very remote spot, it's really hard to go to the top of the peak and look for miles and not see another soul or not hear another snowmobile. And so there's still so many peaks and lines that I haven't skied just home here in the Wallowas. So that's what keeps bringing me back.
Cool. Awesome.
Well, I think that's about all time we have. Victor, thank you so much for joining us today and bringing
Absolutely.
us your James Bond toys and your experience.
welcome.
This has been Eastern Oregon Adventures. This video has been brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Valley Realty, Grand Ron Hospital, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, I think I said that twice, and Blue Mountain Outfitters. Tune in, please like and share this video, and tune in for more local content.